Maple Leafs intensify search for a center, anticipation for a long-term addition. The Toronto Maple Leafs are entering a critical phase of the season, with their search for a high-quality center on a long-term contract becoming the top priority for general manager Brad Treliving. As Elliotte Friedman reported on the Fan 590, the Leafs are not interested in short-term rental players. Instead, they are looking for someone who can contribute both this season and in the future. This approach reflects Treliving's long-term philosophy of building a roster capable of sustaining success for years to come. The Leafs invested heavily in the offseason to strengthen their defense and solidify their goaltending, but now the focus has shifted to finding the perfect complement for the team's offensive core. If they're going to spend assets on a center, they'd prefer it to be someone with term, Friedman said. This strategy makes sense considering the financial challenges and the need for long-term stability in a franchise that has its sights set on a long-awaited championship. The need for a versatile center. With injuries affecting key players like John Tavares and Auston Matthews at critical moments, the lack of depth at the center position has become evident. Although Anthony Stolarz and Joseph Woll have performed well in goal and the defense remains solid with Morgan Rielly as a cornerstone, the offense has lacked consistency in the second and third lines. A center with a long-term contract offers more than just immediate security. They provide a medium to long-term solution to a structural issue that has hampered the Leafs in past playoffs. Versatility and the ability to create plays under pressure are key qualities being sought. Trade rumors: who are the Leafs targeting? While specific names have yet to emerge, the market offers intriguing options. Players like Elias Lindholm from the Calgary Flames and Nico Hischier from the New Jersey Devils have been mentioned in speculative discussions. However, acquiring one of these players would likely come at a high cost in terms of draft picks and prospects. The Leafs must also balance this pursuit with their salary cap constraints. Bringing in a player with a long-term contract could necessitate additional moves to accommodate the acquisition, potentially involving the departure of young talent or players in less critical roles. A relief for Morgan Rielly? In addition to the search for a center, Friedman mentioned the possibility of the Leafs looking for a defenseman to complement Morgan Rielly. Although defense is not the primary focus right now, adding a physical blue liner with strong transition skills could be a valuable bonus for the team. But as Friedman noted, that's not the number one priority. The focus is clear: bolstering the center position. Fans' expectations. For Toronto Maple Leafs fans, this period of trade activity is as exciting as it is nerve-wracking. The prospect of adding a high-impact player raises hopes of finally making a deeper playoff run. However, many are also aware of the risks. "We can't mortgage our future for a one-shot opportunity," one fan commented on social media, echoing the sentiments of a passionate fan base eager for a balance between immediate success and long-term sustainability. Recent history and lessons learned. The Leafs have learned from past mistakes. Moves like the acquisition of Nick Foligno in 2021 highlighted the dangers of betting big on short-term players. This time, Treliving seems determined to avoid similar pitfalls. The team also remains confident in its ability to attract impactful players. With a talented core led by Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander, the Leafs offer an immediate chance to compete for championships, something many players highly value. Looking ahead. As the Leafs refine their priorities and explore options in the market, one thing is certain: the team is in a position to make noise in the playoffs. The right addition at the center position could be the final piece to turning this promise into reality. The coming days and weeks will be crucial, and Leafs fans eagerly await the team's next moves. A significant acquisition at center could be exactly what Toronto needs to finally capture the long-coveted Stanley Cup. The impact of adding a center with term. Adding a center with term remaining on their contract not only addresses an immediate need but also secures a long-term option for the Leafs. One of the issues the team has faced in recent years is the lack of depth down the middle, especially when injuries occur. A center with a multi-year commitment would provide stability in the lineup, offering a consistent presence for years to come. Additionally, this move would help minimize the team's reliance on short-term rental players, which can create uncertainty and potentially disrupt team chemistry. While rental players can sometimes provide an instant boost, they often don't offer the same long-term value that a player under contract does. The Leafs' ability to lock up a center for multiple seasons would also help them avoid the pressure of future negotiations or the risk of losing a key player after a successful season. This kind of acquisition would solidify the team's depth, giving them a better chance at success in both regular seasons and playoff campaigns. Key qualities sought in a potential center. The Leafs' search is not just for any center. They are looking for a player who can fit seamlessly into their lineup and offer more than just face-off proficiency. Ideally, this player would be someone who can contribute offensively, playing in the top six while complementing Matthews and Tavares in different line combinations. They need a center who can play both at even strength and on special teams, adding value to the power play and penalty kill. In addition to their offensive capabilities, the ideal center would also bring a physical edge to the lineup. Toronto has struggled with physicality in recent seasons, and adding a center who is capable of winning battles along the boards, providing a net front presence, and being tough on the puck could make a major difference in tight games. This two-way play would be particularly valuable in playoff matchups, where games are often won or lost based on physicality and puck battles. The Leafs' current center situation. Currently, the Leafs have an impressive center group led by Austin Matthews and John Tavares, both of whom are among the top players in the league. However, beyond these two, there is a noticeable drop-off in production. While players like David Kampf and Pontus Holmberg have done admirable jobs in their depth roles, the lack of a third-line center who can consistently contribute offensively has been a challenge. A long-term solution at the center position would help balance the lineup and provide more options for head coach Sheldon Keefe when making in-game adjustments. With the addition of a quality center, the Leafs would also have the ability to spread out their scoring threat more evenly across the lines. Right now, Matthews and Marner carry much of the offensive burden, and while they are certainly capable, a third scoring threat would relieve some of that pressure. This would make Toronto a more unpredictable team and harder to match up against in the postseason. Balancing cap space and assets. One of the biggest challenges the Leafs will face is balancing their desire for a center with their limited salary cap space. The team has already committed significant money to Matthews, Tavares, Marner, and Nylander, and adding a player with term could push them closer to the cap ceiling. As a result, they may need to move some contracts to free up space or get creative with their asset management. Trade talks around players like William Nylander or Morgan Rielly have surfaced in the past as possible cap-saving measures, but the Leafs are unlikely to part with core players unless it's for an immediate upgrade that addresses their needs. Instead, the team may need to rely on moving players from their bottom six or dealing with expiring contracts to make room for a new addition. This could involve parting ways with prospects or picks, which could be a tough decision given the team's current standing. The deadline pressure. As the trade deadline approaches, pressure will mount on Treliving to make a decision. The Leafs are in a win-now mode, and this year's window to contend for a Stanley Cup may not be open for much longer with key players approaching the end of their contracts or entering their prime years. For this reason, acquiring a center is not just a move to improve the roster, it's a necessity if Toronto is to remain one of the league's elite teams. Friedman's comments about the Leafs wanting a player with term show that the team understands the importance of building for the future as well as the present. A short-term rental may provide some immediate help, but a longer-term option ensures that the team remains competitive for years to come, even after the current core ages. The role of trade talk in team chemistry. In addition to the on-ice impact, the trade rumors swirling around the Leafs can have an effect on team chemistry. Players are often aware of the trade discussions surrounding them, and the uncertainty can disrupt focus. However, for a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, these distractions are something the Leafs will have to manage.